watching the retrial for Karen Reed out of Massachusetts. She faces second-degree murder for the death of her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, back in 2022. Her first trial, we know, ended in a mistrial after the jury couldn't fill out the verdict form and did not come to a unanimous decision. On the stand is Sergeant Yuri Buchanek. He is with the Massachusetts State Police. Remember, last time around, it was Trooper Proctor who was the lead investigator. Well, it's unclear if the Commonwealth's going to call Proctor. They may let the defense do that later. So Buchanek's going to be doing most of the heavy lifting. Let's go back in. They have concluded the mid-morning break, and that's where we're picking it up.
Sir, when we left, we were discussing Mr. O'Keefe's sneaker that you retrieved from the Good Samaritan Hospital.
Yes, sir.
Would that be his right sneaker?
It would be his right sneaker.
Do you have that sneaker with you today?
I do.
And again, could you open that bag and show that right sneaker to the jury?
Yes, sir.
Is that the sneaker you retrieved from the Good Samaritan Hospital?
It is.
I'd move that into evidence, please.
Okay, any objection, Mr. Jackson?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Trooper Buchanek, there are two more items. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Trooper Buchanek, there are two more items that you retrieved of John O'Keefe's clothing from the Good Samaritan Hospital. Did you bring those two items with you?
Yes, sir.
Are those two of the items that you laid out on butcher paper to dry?
Yes, they are.
Were they ultimately bagged and put into evidence?
Yes, they were.
And did you bring Mr. O'Keefe's T-shirt?
Yes, I did.
Is it placed in an object so it can be seen?
Yes, it was.
What type of object?
It's a transparent plastic sheet.
I would move the T-shirt into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
With the court's permission, could Trooper Buchanek show it to the jury?
Yes.
Could you show the back as well, Trooper? Thank you.
Mr. Brennan, could you help assist the court reporter with that, please?
Of course.
Exhibit 87.
You can place it on that side.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. Thanks.
Trooper Buchanek, is there a last piece of item of Mr. O'Keefe's that you took from the Good Samaritan Hospital?
Yes, it is.
And what is it?
It's the sweatshirt.
I'd move that into evidence, Your Honor.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right.
The court's permission?
Yes.
Could you show the backside, please? May I approach?
Yes, thank you. Next exhibit, please, Madam Court Reporter.
Exhibit 88.
Thank you.
Your Honor, that's to Exhibit 88, Procedural.
sorry?
Maybe approach Reed.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sidebar there. A couple things to note. Trooper Mechanic, before the mid-morning break, he confused the sneaker. So he thought it was the sneaker that was taken from the right sneaker was from the hospital, not from 34 Fairview. That was the left sneaker. So they mopped it up after the break and had him display it again. And the other observation, Karen Reed, you know, when you see John O'Keefe's clothing, she's not playing the game, I guess, and she's, you know, just there's no deference there at all. And you never know, jurors might be clued into that. Let's bring in Cannon Kearney. He's in New York. And I get it. It's years by, and she's fighting for her life. We've seen her in her interviews. She is not that person. But on another level, for jurors, they don't know all of that. They know that this guy's dead and she was the girlfriend. So when you're seeing your ex's jeans being displayed, some jurors might be looking for a little emotion out of the defendant.
I agree, Ted. Good morning. Essentially, you are great to hit on that point. As the jurors are essentially scanning the courtroom for anything, any nugget that can be used in order to help them to come to an acquittal or to come to a conviction, they are looking at the witnesses. They are looking at the defendant. They are seeking to see if this person seems remorseful, if this person seems to be a little sad. I will say two things that I've noticed. One, you can say that she's keyed in. She's there. She's a part of the litigation with her attorneys. So I don't think that anyone can really have a slight against her for fighting literally for her life to ensure that the truth is told. Two, it kind of would come off to a normal person. Why would you show these clothes? Why would you care if it was the right or the left sneaker? But as you indicated previously, another officer was the person who testified that he got these items, that he provided these items to be tested. So now they're showing that maybe the gentleman who's testifying now, his supervisor, really wasn't at the scene or really wasn't as close to these items or the evidence that's being presented. So if he thought it was a left and it actually was a right, or he thought that it was a scratch on the shirt or whatever it may be, the point is they're trying to go at his credibility to show that maybe he isn't the person that should be testifying.
Yeah, and you know, Trooper Proctor obviously is not taking the lead role this time around for obvious reasons. So good point. Let's go back in. Judge Cadoni is addressing the jury after the sidebar broke up.
Jurors, every piece of evidence that you're getting is recorded, and we have to keep a very clear record. So sometimes we spend time that may seem like a waste of time to you, but it's very, very important for the case. So we do appreciate your patience. All right, go ahead, Mr. Brennan.
Thank you. Trooper Mechanic, you shared with us that you met with some of the members of the state police that night and then returned to the Norfolk County District Attorney's office to put the clothing on butcher paper, you call it. What was your next step in your investigation?
We met and discussed the next steps. My decision was to go back to 34 Fairview and excavate for the missing clothing item, being Mr. O'Keefe's hat. There was also plans to start writing search warrants.
Did the weather get better over the next couple days?
The weather did take a turn for the warmer temperatures, yes.
Did you return to Fairview a few days later on February 3rd?
Yes, I did.
Was that the first time you personally had visited 34 Fairview?
Yes, it was.
When you went to 34 Fairview on February 3rd, 2022, do you remember about what time in the morning you went?
Sometime between 8:30, 9 o'clock, maybe 9:30.
When you went there, did you travel with anybody?
Yes.
Who did you travel with?
It was other members of my unit and a member from crime scene services.
Did you all travel in the same vehicle, or did you meet there?
We all traveled in our own issued cruisers.
Was this a planned search or a planned excavation on February 3rd,
Yes, it was.
2022?
Yes, it was.
Who was there at the scene, 34 Fairview, with you?
It was Trooper DeChico, Mike Proctor, and Trooper Evan Brent.
And Trooper Evan, last name?
Brent.
Brent. Was Trooper Brent the photographer?
Yes.
What type of tools did you bring when you went to 34 Fairview?
We brought snow shovels, garden shovels. I brought a like an E-tool, military-style E-tool.
Was there still some snow on the ground?
There was, yes.
Did you and the members of the group begin to look for any evidence?
Yes, we did.
Were you looking on the street, or did you move to more on the grass?
Objection, Your Honor.
Ask it differently.
What area were you focused on at this point?
We were focused on the lawn portion of the property by in the vicinity of the flagpole, the fire hydrant, and along the edge of the asphalt.
Did you see a berm, an asphalt berm, separating the concrete street and the yard?
Yes,
Were you looking anywhere near the area of the berm?
we did, yes.
Were you looking anywhere on the street?
The street was plowed, but portions of the street still had remnants of snow, so we did check that area, but it was much easier to identify anything because it was clear of snow.
Where was most of your focus?
On the lawn.
As you worked your way through the lawn, did you or members of your team come across any items that you believe to be evidence?
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to produce some of that evidence to us. Beginning with 535, did you find a number of pieces of plastic?
Yes.
Could you produce 535?
Yes, sir.
All right. While he gets that, we'll get a break. We'll get you back into the courtroom for more on the trooper on the stand. It's the retrial of Karen Reed. Stay with us. Welcome back to Court TV Live. Let's go back to Dedham, Massachusetts. It's day 12 of the murder retrial for Karen Reed. She is standing trial, of course, for the second time, charged with second-degree murder in the death of her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe. He was found dead outside of a friend's house after a night of drinking back in January of 2022. And here we are in 2025. This is still going on. It's the second time around for Karen Reed. Let's go back in, pick up the testimony from Sergeant Yuri Buchanek with the Massachusetts State Police.
Let me just ask you a couple questions before you open that. If somebody identified an object that they believe to be evidence, what was the process for handling it?
On this day, we identified evidence. The process would have been documenting each item that was located with photographs. Then one of the members of the individuals present would bag each item into a paper bag.
When they were bagged, would the person bagging them use any type of protection like you're using?
Absolutely, every time.
After the items are bagged, was the bag sealed?
Eventually it was sealed, yes.
When you say eventually, what does that mean?
Once it was, all the items were inside and it was brought back to the office, it would be sealed, signed, completely filled out with all the pertinent information on the back.
Could you open that bag?
Yes, sir.
before you take the pieces out, I'm asking you to look in. Do you recognize those pieces?
Yes, I do.
What do you recognize them to be?
I recognize them to be the items that we recovered from the lawn area on the left side of 34 Fairview Road on February 3rd, 2022, during the planned excavation of the property.
And were they photographed before they were put in that bag?
They were.
Your Honor, may I approach before Trooper Buchanan
Yes.
opens that bag or goes through it?
Did you show Mr. Jackson?
I am sorry. Hand you a series of photographs and ask you to take a look at them, see if you recognize them.
I do recognize them.
And what is in those photographs?
The photographs depict items collected from the lawn at 34 Fairview on February 3rd, 2022.
Do those particular photographs correspond with the pieces of items that are in that bag?
They do.
I have moved this series of photographs in cabinets.
Any
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay. We'll knock them separately, please.
Six. Thank you very much. Those items, were they eventually sent for analysis to a Massachusetts State Police lab?
Yes, they were.
When the laboratory received those items, are you familiar whether they marked them with a label or a number for identification?
Objection, Your Honor.
I want to allow that.
Yes, they mark each item individually.
Do those items have markings on them reflected by an item number?
Yes, they are.
When you refer to a piece, will you refer to that item number that is on any individual piece?
Once it's labeled, it is identified by that individual piece, by that designated label.
So if there's any numbers written on any of those pieces, was that written by you?
No.
Would that have been written by somebody else after it was sent?
Yes, at the lab.
Okay. If we can begin, if you can begin to take the pieces out so we can show them to the jury. And does that have a number on it or a tag?
Yes, it does. This is item 22-02-184-7-8, also alphanumeric A.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
These two are taped together.
When you found them, were they taped together?
No. They're taped together by the lab. There's also a canister labeled debris collection. That number is 22-02184 7-8.1. This is 7-8G. This is 7-8N, as in November. There are also items too small to label with a letter and number. Those were put into a bag like this. Almost looks like a stamp bag, wax stamp bag.
Are those all the items in that bag?
Altogether, there are, it does look like those are all the items. Some of them are inside the canister that I pulled up.
Understood. Your Honor, to move those items into evidence, please.
All right, Buchanan handing over the evidence bag. They went back, they found those pieces of tail light on the lawn when they went back a few days after. The incident trial attorney, Cannon Kearney, he's in New York. Cannon, to what extent can the defense use Buchanan to bring up Michael Proctor in the cross? Because Proctor was there during all of this, and he was mentioned briefly in terms of the attendance of who was there. Do you expect his name to be uttered during the cross?
I do believe that there will be more mention of Proctor. It essentially sets the table for the jury to know of who the defense plans on calling at some point. So it would behoove them to, continue to throw out the fact that, yes, you're stating that you found these items, but you found them with who? And so they want that name to continue to be heard because it taints the evidence. So I do believe that the defense will continue to ensure that the jury understands that another person will be testifying in regards to these same items that we're talking about today.
I agree, because the bottom line, if they're setting the table for this was all like planted, by
Yes.
who? Well, you're not going to be saying that to Buchanan, but Proctor, he can turn into the boogeyman real quickly for the defense, and I'm sure he will. That'll be their strategy.